watching You Matters Happy Hour.
And that's with myself, Scott Jones, and Andy Leake, the Kidderminster hero. How are we doing?
I'm here.
You're here, mate, and that's great news because I'd be awful on my own.
Well, I think you'd have some fans. I can't get rid of that. I need to rebuild my house or something. Oh, I've got echo. I've got echo. Oh, it's gone now.
Oh, there we go. Is that just your ears or?
No, we had echo. I've still got it. Oh,
right, well, I know. Welcome to the show. We hope Andy's echo goes away.
Yeah.
But thank you, everybody, for joining us. NMS first in the comments there with an evening, guys. Thank you, everyone. Good start to people rolling in. Hopefully, a few more rolling very shortly. And don't forget, we are joined today by PDC Talk on holder Luke Woodhouse, who's going to be talking to us about darts, the journey, everything in between. Hopefully, some bit of gossip from the tour. A little bit of gossip.
Never thought of that. Never thought of that. Good angle. We'll take that angle. We'll get some goss.
Get some gossip.
Good evening, NMS. Good evening, Nick. Hope you're well too. COVID. That's right. Not really. Joke.
So when Luke does join us, right, if anybody's got any questions they want to put in, if you put them in the comments, we'll do our best to get through them all for you. We can even put them up on the screen as well. We've got a little technology that can do that. So that'd be great.
Clever, isn't you? I want to put a torch on, see if that makes my face look any brighter.
Oh, turn it off. Turn it off.
That's better, isn't it?
That's better. There we go.
I'll put the torch on my phone.
In your full glory. Hello to my brother who sat just the other side of that wall, commenting on.
Hi, Craig. Good evening to you.
He's the less good-looking brother.
Obvs. But he's got better T-shirts, though, hasn't he?
No, mate, not at all. You know that doesn't happen. There's a corker under it, and it's themed for tonight as well.
Is it?
It is, mate. It's
better,
so, a darts night. There might be a dart shirt underneath. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, there could just be a prick on the shirt. But to be fair,
that's just me. It's just a prick in the shirt.
Yeah. A prick in a hoodie, yeah. Yeah, it's blinding. I'll just turn the lights up, the torch on my phone. That's what's gone brighter.
It's going for the boxing look to start with.
Yeah, it's Tyson Fury all over, mate. Nailed that. That. I could see you running up Kiddie Town all steps, shouting, "Adrian!" Well, that was like
the steps next to the side of Poundland in Kidderminster, going up there.
Or the ones down by where the All and Trumpet used to be, down by Matalan.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to run up.
They're quite steep, them ones, aren't they? Yeah.
Not quite steep, yeah. I used to run up them many, many years ago as a training thing.
Never doubt it, mate. Never doubt it.
Did you have a good birthday, Scott?
I did. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, thanks. It's meant to be kept quiet, but then on my quiz on Friday night, some people blurted it out.
Was it on the book? Didn't it come up on the book?
No, I stop it from showing on the bucket face.
Oh, so happy birthday then, mate. I wouldn't have known then, so he wouldn't have known. No, happy birthday then. Belated and all that malarkey.
Yeah, I was actually 21, if I'm going to be honest.
Nice.
On Saturday.
Nice. Why does everybody choose 21? Why don't people say, like, they're closer to their real age rather than going back obviously out the way? Like, if you're 40, why don't you say, oh, yeah, I was 32? Going 21 is obviously not the right thing, innit? It's like me saying I was 21.
Well, I thought I'd get away with it. That's why. I thought I clearly looked 21.
No. Sorry, mate. It's the hoodie that gave it away. Good evening, Susie. Good evening, Face, down in Crantock, up there as well.
So, how was the start of your week been then? I know we're only one day in so far, but was it good start?
Yeah, been quite mild at work today, to be fair. It's been all right. Sun's been out in it, so I get to spend a lot of time outside in my job, and it's so it's nice to have the nice weather, although the weather doesn't really bother me. So, yeah, not a bad. Had a good weekend, nice weekend. Didn't do a walk this weekend, like normally do like a forest walk or something. Didn't do one this weekend, and I noticed it. I know it sounds really weird. I noticed it. Not doing the walk sort of didn't affected the mindset. By Sunday night, I was a bit edgy, and I think that's because didn't go out for a nice couple of country walks. But yeah, what about you, mate? Have you had a good start, a good weekend?
Yeah, not bad actually. Well, obviously I had the birthday on the Saturday, so I went for a bit of a walk on that. As Faye says, happy 50th to me. But yeah, apart from, I mean, it's different these days, isn't it? Your birthdays, because I mean, I've never really wanted to celebrate my birthdays much. I don't see the point in celebrating me getting older. But I mean, this birthday, I found myself going for a walk and then watching a live stream of the Lancashire Hot Pots.
Yeah, you'd watch that. Well, to be fair, it could be a lot worse things to do. At least now, do you know what the bonus is for me? Now everybody has had a birthday in lockdown, haven't they? Because we've done a year.
I've had two.
Yeah, so everybody should have had one. You know, do you know what I mean? So now people can stop harping on about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've had one now. We don't care anymore. They've been the same for us all. Stop barking on about it. You know, you've had one. We've all had one. End. Done now. You don't have to tell us about it. Anyway. That's done. What's going on the comments here, Scott? What's happening? Happy belated birthday from NMS.
I mean, we've got a debate. This one. Who's just aimed at?
Well, if you look further down, she's also put "and evening Andy."
So I thought just as much. I didn't want to say it, but I think if there's any handsome one out of us two, it's got to be.
Well, I think just threw it all away. Really, she should be on at the chopping board at the moment, not bloody talking to you. Even more.
Oh,
hey, Scott, happy 50th. Happy birthday, Scott, from Lou. They're all throwing out the belateds, mate. You haven't had a lockdown birthday. Yours was August.
Yeah, because we opened back up for a little bit, didn't we?
Well, not properly, did we? It was.
I think Susie got to go out and have a meal though with her friends around about that time.
Oh, did she?
She probably got that deal as well. It was on a eat out to help out. She probably got it for £10.
Yeah, probably did. Yeah, got the half to help out. Yeah. You've had a lockdown period though, Susie, haven't you? Lockdown period birthday, not a lockdown period because we don't want to go down that route, do we? I have not. I have one not only in lockdown but every year. That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Susie probably did make the most of the 50% off at Poundland or whatever it was, Pizza Hut.
Yeah, I mean, I did do that out on eBay. It was quite a good scheme. But imagine if your birthday's around there, that's a bit scenes, really. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a street talk. Scenes. What's that mean? Is that like some street talk? Scenes.
Yeah, I'm down with the kids. You see, that's why I got the hoodie on. It's kind of like, if you notice, I've got kind of like gangster with the hoodie on. It's like, yeah, mate, scenes, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's really, to be fair, what really takes it off, mate, the hoodie is the little knots to stop it pulling through. That's really gangster. You got the nice little knots just to stop it pulling through. Now, I've seen all the boys in the hood with that on in it, brah. You know what I'm saying? Like, got the little knots there so you can get your fingers, keep it nice and tight. Stop it pulling through because then you'll have to get a safety pin and put it back through the thing.
All the mod cons, mate. All the mod cons here.
Hey, oh dear.
There's no messing around.
Yeah, now I can see now that you've now that.
Although the hoodie is coming off very shortly to reveal tonight's t-shirt.
Well, we ain't long before we get our special guest, are we? So I think you might have to do that early doors. You need some mittens on them. RWS says.
I could get that. That'd be nice, actually. Yeah, but that is proper gangster, isn't it? Having mittens on.
Yeah, but make sure the string's longer, Scott. Don't want you like walking around like this. Because you've got to put longer string in. Don't just like walk. Well, my hands are lovely and warm.
Like a T-Rex.
Yeah, like a T-Rex.
Susie says, Scott, you are my number one stalker. Well remembered. Went for an Indian, then 2 days later went to Wales for a 10th anniversary. I know because I was following you most of that. Thanks, Leaky. I know I am the fattest I've ever been and can't just blame eat out to help out. I mean,
you're lovely, Susie.
I find it terrible that you've said that, mate, Susie.
Say again.
I find it terrible that you've made Susie think that.
Yeah, it's wrong, Susie. Don't be doing all that malarkey. You're lovely as you are. Susie, hey, Lulu. Oh, yeah, she chats to Lou Smith, doesn't she?
Yeah, this is they come on the show just to chat with each other, don't they?
Yeah, I feel like that.
Don't mind us.
No, don't worry about us. Don't worry about us.
But yeah, I think because we are going to be getting a guest very shortly. It's time to reveal the t-shirt.
Okay, let me get my music. I've gone dark again. Hold on, because I've had to turn the torch off on my phone. Let me getting your music. It's the only reason RWS tunes in. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's go.
I'm ready.
Nice.
Woo!
Nice.
There we go. Gone.
Here we go.
Yes, hands.
Here we go. There we go. There he is, Scott, with his new t-shirt on.
So I went for a darts t-shirt today, as it's obviously a darts theme show.
Yes.
With a guest joining us very shortly.
It looks very, very smart. Scott, stand up a bit so we can see what's going on.
Okay, so it's just the standard whole dartboard t-shirt.
Crap player, isn't he? He's only got 17. What's the scores on there? 17, 3, 20. He's only got like 37.
Not very good. And is that? Can't see what they are.
Well, what's the what?
41?
What's the what? Stand up a bit more because I can't see the numbers on the bottom. It's 19 and 3, so he's got 38, 41.
Yeah.
Yeah, 41.
That's better than what I normally score.
Yeah. I'll have geography, please, Jim. Sport you got. And
So you get nothing in this game for 2 in a bed.
geez, Susie must be menopausal. She found that strangely erotic.
To be fair, there's nothing strange about that, Susie. It was a very erotic scene.
It was a very erotic scene.
It was, yeah. It was up there. Lou Smith loved a bullseye. I think that's NMS telling Lou that she loves bullseye.
You want a caravan you don't need or a yacht? That's right, yeah.
That's it. Lived in the Midlands. You've won yourself a speedboat.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant stuff. Well, I mean, and have you ever dabbled in the game of darts yourself?
No, not other than just in the garage or somebody said, do you want to go with darts? And having to get them from behind the bar at the pub. But no, nothing major. I've watched a bit because back in my youth, it was on World of Sport. It was darts, wrestling, and the football results. That was and stock car racing. Sometimes that was pretty much the Saturday afternoon at my nan's. So that's the closest as I've got, to be honest, to being a darts fan. I don't take nothing away from the guys that play it, though. It's a pretty skillful game, isn't it? Accuracy, because having played it in the garage or in the pub for a laugh, trying to get every time in the 20s, not going to happen. So it is a very skillful game. But no, not for any in any anger, mate, to be fair. I know you have, though. You and your family are quite big darts people, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've grown up with darts and my family have always played it, but I was always the black sheep because my mum and dad were both really good darts throwers. My brother took their gene and was a very good darts player. I used to be happy when I was a kid to get one in the dartboard. I was that bad. If I got one in, I was like, yeah. So yeah, I never really inherited that dart side, but I've always enjoyed watching it though. Just not really playing.
Oh, here we go. NMS is in town. Look, here she is. Look, here she goes.
Yeah, so NMS used to play for the Worcester women's A side in the 80s. Get in. There we go. Yeah. There's a few there good at darts. Lou Smith's good at darts. She should have been on bullseye. Would you have had Andy on with you as your little host?
Well, I'd have been the one that couldn't play, wouldn't I?
Yeah, the non-player with answering all the questions.
Yeah. The non-darts player goes first.
Right. Well, I think it's time to bring in a guest. I'm going to try and channel my sort of inner John McDonald, the darts MC. For anyone that knows him, I'm actually really nervous about doing this because I feel like this is a sort of audition for me. I feel like if this goes wrong, it's game over.
Well, game over.
So Here was my attempt at the introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet your guest. Joining from the Wire Forest, England, 2 times qualifier for the William Hill World Championships, it's Luke Woody Woodhouse. Welcome to the show. That was a good introduction for you.
That was great, mate. Yeah, you've done that before, I can tell.
I've been practicing all day, that, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cracking.
I'm
loving that t-shirt. I'm loving that t-shirt. That's some t-shirt, that is.
But it's my sort of. I think I brought it for one of the tours. I just kept it ever since. Just took it to a dart show a while ago. It might have been the Ali Pally. I can't remember.
Is it lycra?
Say again, sorry.
Is it lycra? Because it seems to be a bit bigger.
It's not lycra. No, I don't think I could pull off lycra.
Just wondered that, mate. Just wondered.
Oh, well, again, Luke, thanks for joining us.
No worries. No problems.
We're going to be asking you a few questions and hopefully get some in the comments for you as well. So if anybody does have a question they want to ask Luke, feel free to put it in and we'll do our best to ask them on your behalf. First of all, I just want to talk about, obviously, a local lad grew up in the Bewdley area, playing darts. So what sort of pubs did you frequent playing darts in back in the day?
I've played. I'm more based in Bewdley, but I used to play in the sort of the Rock and District League as well. So a lot of Clibbery pubs, the Stable, pubs like that. But my home pub is like the Wagon and Horses in Bewdley. So that's where I played the majority of my darts since I was probably 19, 20 years old.
So talk to us like that transition of going from playing in the pubs to sort of like, I'm guessing you probably used to watch a lot of darts as a kid, see all the darts players, and then going to Q School and sort of challenging up against a lot of those players. Like, how did that feel to take that step?
It was quite a gradual step, to be fair. I played sort of obviously locally, and then I started going to like quite a lot of sort of local opens, like sort of Birmingham-based, Stourbridge-based opens, and then like opens in Kidderminster and stuff. And I played on the PDC done what was originally the Challenge Tour. It was like an under-25 Challenge Tour.
Yeah,
played on that, done quite well on that, and then I give Q School a go, but it took me a few goes to get through Q School. It took me, I think, 3 or 4 times to get through. So yeah, it wasn't sort of like I went to Q School and then all of a sudden I was chucked in the deep end. I sort of gradually took the step and went from there, really. Yeah,
because Q School is it's very difficult, isn't it? I mean, there's some great competitors that go to Q School. It is very tough to get through.
Oh yeah, it's tremendously tough. I mean, it's changed slightly this year to when I play, but like when I went into it, I think there was sort of like 400 entries, and then I think it was like 22 spaces or 20 spaces. They got a tour card, yeah. So, and you're talking like a lot of the players that drop off the tour go, a lot of the sort of, well, I suppose it's all the top players in the country really that want to strive to become a professional. A lot of like the ex-pros and players that are trying to come back as well. So yeah, it's so tough, and there's a lot of good players that miss out, and they've missed out quite a few times.
Yeah.
Does it cost to go in, or do you have to earn to get into the qualifying school? Do you have to earn that spot, or do you have to pay for that spot?
No, Q School, anyone can enter Q School. I'm not sure how. I've been lucky enough to have sort of a management company and stuff, and so I haven't had to sort of pay any money. But I think it's around £400, £450 to enter Q School. But yeah, anybody can enter Q School and give it a go if they think they're good enough to sort of become a professional or go on to a thing. Or a lot of people go for the experience as well and try and just use it to see where their game is, to whether they are good enough to potentially go and be a professional.
Yeah, Susie, I think Susie should have a go at it. We've got a question there. Susie says, you look very svelte for a darts player. I thought it was mandatory to have a beer belly. I've got one, but I've only played darts when I was 13, drinking Pernod in the Red Man. Yeah, Susie, 450 quid. You could go and set your benchmark, see if you're any good. There you go.
Yeah. Also,
I'm
Susie's
not
a
that
regular.
stout, honestly. I used to play a lot of football and stuff, but obviously since playing darts, it is quite tough to keep the weight off. But I do try and balance it as much as possible, rather than just. I mean, I have to watch what I eat. Obviously, staying away a lot of the time. We stay in hotels like 4 or 5 days at a time, especially now where we have to stay in a bubble. We literally have sort of food we can order and stuff. So when I'm at home, I do try and watch what I eat, and not like I don't drink home enough and either. So it's I try and watch my figure when I'm at home anyway.
So when you're on a tour, then is it like? Oh, I don't even know what sports to put it against. Are you on tour now as well? So you're constantly touring into competitions. Are you playing now in the current environment?
Well, basically, it's slightly different at the moment with obviously with COVID and stuff. We'll have like in a normal year, we'll have sort of 30 what we call pro tour events. So it's like floor tournaments. So these will be played sort of in like big leisure centres, and all those tournaments throughout the year will count towards your order of merit, which will then qualify you for the majors, your match plays, your Grand Prix, your World Championships. So yeah, the tour is sort of an ongoing thing through the year, which is generally played on weekends. But due to COVID, at the moment they're sort of only bringing out 2 or 3 months at a time, and then we're putting some more like a block of 5 days rather than a weekend every other weekend or whatever. So yeah, it's generally played throughout the year, which then qualifies you for the relevant majors and like your World Championships and things like that.
Okay, fair enough. The
question over the years, it's changed quite a lot, hasn't it? That over the years, with like, I mean, you're talking like 20, 30 years ago, there wouldn't be as much going on, but now it's kind of, it is full time. There's pretty much games going on, even behind closed doors, pretty much every week.
Yeah, I mean, for some part of the tour, I think it works out when in normal circumstances, it works out that I think it's 48 out of the 52 weekends there was some sort of PDC based darts going on. Not for sort of every player, but they had something on 48 weekends out of the 52. So yeah, it's non-stop usually. It's only obviously during the last 18 months that they've had to sort of pick and choose when they can hold events and to like what restrictions or whatever they're allowed to hold the events with.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite lucky a couple of years ago to get to go to Barnsley for one of the tours there with Rich Stanway, who I think you might know.
Yeah,
and
Rich.
just being in the background there, it's different because like you see a lot of players on the stage and it's all serious, you know, they come out and all the crowd are there. But like when you're at Barnsley stuff, and all the different places that they're at, it's kind of like all the players get on. There was a great camaraderie between like players and that behind. Everyone sat on the same tables chatting. There was like a very good atmosphere there, really.
Yeah, generally it's very relaxed. I mean, what tends to happen is each players will have their own sort of table that like I'll sit with the same people every tournament, and you'll get the same sort of table sat in every event. But there's not like everyone sort of gets on because obviously we're there. Even though we're competitors, we're still there for the same purpose. Like, and you can end up spending, especially at the moment, 4 or 5 days with these people. So in general, everyone gets on. But yeah, it's very relaxed atmosphere. Everyone gets on quite well. So it's not as competitive as what people would imagine.
Scott's looking for gossip. I know what he's doing. He's looking for gossip, Luke. He's looking for gossip.
I've got to be careful. Yeah, I've got to be careful to say too much.
There are a few questions on that.
On tour, Scott. Do you not know the phrase, what goes on tour stays on tour? That's how it works.
I've got a few questions to try and weed them out here. I've got a few things. But yeah, I mean,
there's a couple of
what I want to talk about a few things is the darts at home that started obviously after COVID. They started the tournament of darts players playing from their homes, playing over the streams. And somebody, I think it was on the first night, got a 9-darter. Do you know who that was, Luke?
Yeah, well, it was the second night. It was actually the second night it was.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. But yeah, well, to be honest, when it happened, I didn't really think a lot of it because the whole scenario of the home darts and playing at home was so new. I think we had sort of 2 weeks' notice to ask whether we wanted to do it, and then whether we had the relevant setup to be able to do it. And then from there, it just went. So obviously, it all happened. And obviously, I practiced loads, and I've hit a few 9-darters practicing. And so I didn't really think about it too much. But then the thought of 3 or 4 days after it happened, it blew up. I had interviews with local, I had interviews with the Washington Post in America, all sorts of radio, and in all sorts. It went crazy. I was shocked by how big it went. But looking back, I suppose at the time, it was probably one of the few live sports that that people could watch. So I suppose a lot more people were viewing than I probably give credit for.
Yeah, I was watching at the time.
Yeah, NMS was watching. She said it was cracking. So Nicola Marie was watching. She was cracking. So there was people watching, obviously.
For those that didn't watch, we've just got a quick recap of it now.
$177.
Oh, very good.
$177.
Oh my word! For the first time at the Unibet home tour.
Yeah, it's
Woodhouse!
Oh,
Absolutely.
well done, good dart.
177, 177, 147. Luke, where did that come from?
So yeah, that was the 9-darter. Not even the conventional way either. Did it like your own way?
No, yeah. I mean, like I say, it was all a little bit of a blur. Obviously, in the 177, 177, this off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but there's hundreds of ways a 9-darter can be done. But obviously, a lot of people know the 180, 180, 141. But yes, obviously, I didn't really think about it until hitting the second front, the last treble before going for the double. And then when I threw for the double, I just released it as fast as I could, and it went in. And yeah, it was all a bit of a blur, to be honest. So, but then I had a game again straight after, so I had to sort of calm myself down a little bit to get ready to play the next game.
Because in that game as well, you're playing Gurren Price at the time, isn't it? So he's now the world #1 and current world champion. So, you didn't just do it against anyone; you did it against the best.
No, I mean, it's nice. Like I tend to play quite well against Gurren, to be fair. But I mean, except for the last game where he absolutely whopped me 6-0 the other week. But I mean, like I said, I didn't really. It was a strange one because of having, obviously, in your own home and having just sort of like I had my phone as the streaming device and stuff. Even though you could hear Gurren throw, and it didn't really feel like he was playing everyone. So it was. I felt quite relaxed playing. It weren't like there was that big pressure of playing the world. Well, I'm not sure he was world #1 then, but he's world #1 now, world champion now, and obviously a top player. There wasn't as much pressure as I think there would have been if I was playing him in person.
That sort of links to what Nick said there. One of the guys, Nick Thompson's asked, have you found the transition of playing with no fans in the venue, and what does it make a difference earlier on in the feed? Sorry, Scott. So have you found the transition of playing with no fans in the venues, and what difference does it make?
I mean, I was obviously lucky enough to play at the Ali Pali with a full crowd, and it was fantastic. And the only event I played in lockdown, which would usually have had fans, would have been the Players' Championship last year. But I was on sort of not the main stage, like stage 2, which is a small stage anyway, so it didn't feel that strange. But when we went back to the Ali Pali and there was no fans, that felt completely different. It was such a strange feeling. There's usually such like a buzz you can feel. I don't know if any of you have been to the Ali Pali, but when you go in, you can hear the noise as you're going up. Like it's such a unbelievable atmosphere, and to walk into and have none, it was very difficult to play. But it's like I said at the time, it's difficult, but it's also the same for everyone that was doing it. So there was sort of no excuses my end, but it was a very different experience. Yeah.
Yeah, saying that with the Ali Pali, I mean, I've been, apart from obviously the last year, to the last 10 years at the Ali Pally when fans were loaded in, and even on the 10th time, you still get taken away by the atmospheres there. I mean, we've been stood outside half hour before it's opened with people jumping around with the beer cans on their heads, passing it around, singing he's got a beer can on his head. You just it's just like you just can't beat. The atmosphere is just like unreal, and the world, you get a lot of like people in different countries as well coming around, and they're all singing their like national songs and everything like that. And, everyone's friendly. It's a fantastic atmosphere. So to go from that to nothing, it's got to be a bit of a culture shock, and especially when you win and you turn around, you're like, oh, there's no one there.
Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, like you going back there, I think usually I'm not 100% sure, but I think a quarter of the tickets sold now are from Holland and Germany for the Ali Pally, so they come over purposely for that. So it just shows how big a game it is for like worldwide now to travel over for the event, where obviously say 10-15 years ago it would probably be predominantly British fans in. So it's massive, really. But yeah, I mean, the first year I played in it, I went the night before to go and watch, and I couldn't believe the noise. And I mean, I've never been other than playing. So when I walked in, I couldn't believe how small the room was, because on telly it looks ginormous.
Yeah.
And you walk in, it's not that big a room really, but once the fans are in there, it's unbelievable. So yeah, to play about the fans, it's disappointing, but obviously they had restrictions to stick to, and that's all. That's the best. They've done a fantastic job just to get it on, to be honest. So it was good to play, and obviously not good on from sort of results wise for me, but still to be able to go there and play when they could have turned around and said, look, we're not going to be able to do it this year. So yeah, it's credit to the PDC.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so in the chat, we've got Holly Wilkins as a few messages for you. But yo Woodhouse, and well done back. You've done amazing.
Yeah, I used to work with Holly. I know Holly quite well. I used to work with her a few years. Yeah, she's good. She's a good girl, Holly is. Yeah.
Yeah, with that though, I remember the first time you sort of played at the Ali Pally in the World Championships, and like in the local area, there was loads of people sort of cheering you on, and I remember seeing on social media like those pictures coming from pubs of like people just cheering for you. Just great to see like a local lad doing so well. Have you seen a lot of that? A lot of the local support?
Oh yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, I can remember when I played Paul Lim, I got a text like from my best mate texting me saying, you've made it when you're on the big screen in the wagon, and the wagon had like the big screen pulled down. I was on there, and she's put like food and stuff on, and they like scan around the room with a phone showing all the people supporting. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a like pinch yourself moment really, because I've spent many a Sunday afternoon there watching the football and watching other stuff. So to be on the big screen in your local pub was fantastic. But yeah, the support locally has been amazing. Really, really not shocking. I mean, I don't really see myself as anything other than just someone that plays darts. So to get support from people I don't know and messages from people, it's brilliant, and it's humbling really. It's really nice to feel sort of your local, like, appreciated by local people. It's amazing.
We've had quite a few questions, but just which we can go back to in a minute. But there's one here that says, so on the back of that, Luke, do you have a job as well, or are you a pro darts player?
Sorry, no, I don't know more now. I've been professional for about 2.5 years now.
Okay.
No, I did work before, but the job I used to work at, I used to juggle it with obviously playing darts, and then when I got my tour card, I tried doing it for about 6 months, and I just couldn't get the time off. So luckily, with the management company I'm with, who look after me, we come up with a bit of a solution to be able to give it a go. I mean, it was a bit of a gamble to start with, but luckily it paid off. So I'm glad I took the step to do it. But it was just, I asked to go part-time, and they didn't have the capacity for me to do it. So I had to just take the leap and give it a go, which, touch wood, to this day, it's paying off.
Yeah, fair play to you. Well done. Congratulations on that. Some people wouldn't even do that, would they? I mean, it's a big step in it, but you're young enough as well. That's a nice thing, isn't it? You were young enough to take the risk, I suppose. in one respect.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've got obviously a wife and a house and 2 children and stuff, but my wife worked full time at the time as well. So I knew even if it didn't go well, say, I sort of give myself 6 months to make it pay. And if after that 6 months it wouldn't, I'd have gone back and reevaluate a few things and had a look at it. But luckily, it went down the right route for me.
Nice one. Well done. I've got a hello from Claire. Well, I'm just seeing if we've got any questions. Oh, Nick Thompson's got a question. Scott, I think you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, you say that I always have to gossip, but Nick says, when we see some of the needle on stage, is it genuine, or are there some genuine rivalries on the tour? Gerwin seems to wind a few players up. I guess means Gerwin Price there. I mean, is there rivalries, or is it not on stage and then you come off and it's like,
there is rivalry between the players. A lot of the top sort of 8 players, it's more of a competitive rivalry, but there's not. I wouldn't say there's a lot of like dislike about. I think it's just a competitive rivalry where I think when Gerwin first come over, people didn't really understand that he's obviously come from a professional rugby background where it's quite an aggressive sport, and he brought that aggression to the game, which no one had really seen before. So it was quite of an eye opener for the fans to see somebody act like that on stage. But I think players now just respect that he's obviously good enough, and that's part of who he is. That's part of his game. So I think when it came over, it was such a big shock that I think players took it to heart and thought he was doing it intentionally. But it's just part of his game. But as in, there are a few rivalries, but I wouldn't say they're like a nastiness or anything like that. I think it's just purely a competitive rivalry. I think you've got to take into account now, rather than years ago, these players play each other so much now that to be in a room and a hateful thing would just be too much. So it is literally sort of a competitive rivalry.
That's right. Well, I mean, have we got any more questions up? So Lou Smith wants to know, did you win a caravan? Did you refer back to the bullseye? Or did you just go home with your bus fare?
I got a little 9-dart, like a silver pin, which every player gets. If you hit one on television, you get a gold one, and if you hit one on the tour, non-televised, you get silver one. And there was a bit of a discussion on Twitter between Dan Dawson, the commentator, and the PDC about whether mine was televised or not. And because it was streamed, I assumed it'd be silver, but apparently it was shown on TV in Holland, in Australia. So there's rumours that it might be upgraded to a gold pin. So that'd be nice if it does.
Wow.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So that's better than a caravan, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of gold on there. Right. So I'm going to ask you a question that's not really darts related, but it's about the players from darts. Okay. So who would you most want to go for a drink with on the tour? If you were going out on a night out, who would be the best person to go out with?
Probably Chizzy.
Yeah,
I know Chizzy. Yeah, I know Chizzy quite well, and obviously he's Simon Harrows as well. So, and he's just when you see him in interviews and stuff, and you see him on stage, what you see is what you get. He loves a laugh, and he's so down to earth, but he's a really funny guy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some stuff to do with Chizzy, and a friend of mine saw him in Minehead a couple of years ago, and like absolutely out of his face, and like and all that. So after the
I think he's been known for. I think he's been known for sort of having a good time and like not having much sleep and turning up to events, but he still does quite well as well. So he's a good laugh, Chizzy is.
Yeah, there's a famous picture of him somewhere turning up to some sort of like signing or some sort of promotion thing, and he's just wearing shorts and flip flops. And I think it was raining outside as well. Yeah.
Well, there can't be a darts uniform, can there? I mean, what else would he wear? They're not like darts. Not like you've got like your football kit on, is it? Got another question there from Nick. I don't know Nick, but I'm guessing Nick is a darts fan. Nick Thompson.
He is, yes.
Nick. The games needs characters, had them for years, and makes for great viewing. But he's also asking, what's your practice routine, Luke? How many hours per week do you put in?
When there's like, at the moment, I haven't picked him up for a few days, but when there's a competition coming up, for about a month before, I will probably do 3 to 4 hours a day, maybe a bit more sometimes on other days. But yeah, generally about 3 to 4 hours a day. I'll split it. It won't be in one go. It'll be split through the day. So I'll sort of do like an hour and a half in the morning, an hour and a half in the afternoon, like an hour at night or whatever. But I have to fit it in obviously around school runs and stuff like that. But yeah, when there's a tournament coming up, I'll do about that every day. Maybe one day off a week, but you have to try and. I just know a lot of these players we're playing against will be doing the same, so I don't want to give them no head start type of thing. So I'll just try and put in as much work as possible.
So as a non-darts player, then, so do you just when you practice, are you literally just practicing 501 and just trying to get 9-dart finishes all the time? Is that what you're practicing?
No, I do lots of different things. I'll do working on that side of thing, but then I'll chuck in like finishes, and then I'll have to finish from like 121 in 6 darts or less and work my way up to 170. I'll do lots of different things. Then we'll do like chase round doubles and stuff like that. It's not purely just throwing at a lot of it is because that's sort of like 90% of the game is scoring. You'll win games. If you don't score heavy enough, you won't get to the double to hit it. So a lot of it's scoring, but yeah, well, I do other things as well rather than just constantly just throwing it at the treble all the time.
So I just had a question just come up actually. This always comes up to my mind whenever I do see darts. Do you have to work out your own maths?
Yeah.
Like, when the guy says 147 and you go, hold on, that's 501, that's 401. Oh, that's 5. That's a double 6 and 9. Well, do you have to work it out?
Yeah, well, obviously when we got when we're playing, the chalkers are there and stuff, so you know what you've got, what you've hit and what you've got left. But so if you've got 147 left, you have to work it out yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you got like one, you end up with 191. It's like, right, if I because you've got to be quite quick at that then. Because I mean, to be fair, you don't get a long between your turn, do you?
No, there's no sort of time frame to work it out. But no, it just becomes sort of second nature after you've done it so long. You just know it's more patterns rather than working out the maths. You just know like a certain 2 trebles will leave you a single to leave the double you want. So you just it's the patterns of the trebles rather than actual mathematics. If that makes sense.
No, that's really interesting. That's the sort of stuff I was like, because I was sitting there thinking, how does he know? He's gone. I don't know. Let's say you've gone for 320s and you've got one's gone in the one. It's like you suddenly change the maths, but you say there's patterns to it. Yeah, you just know that. I don't know. Say for instance, you're on 191. You know, 2 treble 20s and treble 17 leaves double 10. So if you do you know what I mean? You work out the patterns rather than than the actual maths. I don't look at a board and think that's 60, 51, 39. It's just treble 20, treble 17, treble 13 leaves me double 16 rather than the numbers. Okay, that's really interesting. That's the stuff that fascinates me. Yeah, wow. Okay, well, there you go. Science in darts. Who'd have thought it? Brian Cox, Stephen Hawking. We ought to get a competition going on, haven't we? You know, Stephen Hawking in his chair, Brian Cox talking about spike. We could get a science battle going on. Science darts. Loving it.
So, Andy, you know, before it started, I told you I was like really bad at darts. I love playing it, but I was really bad at throwing. But when it came to counting, I was equally as bad. So I'd often like hit stuff. If you'd be like, mate, you've just left yourself 7 to finish. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just couldn't count. So I'd pretend that I was working out, throw for something and hope that it left me like a good number. And people, well worked out. But half the time it's just I left myself 9 or something like that, or 3. I have to go for 1 double it.
Nick NMS is telling us that most darters would know it's just the norm for them to work out the shots. Exactly, most darters would know. I was asking for us non-darters NMS coming on out. What's going on?
Do you know? I mean, just watching the darts, so you kind of get used to it a lot, like because you kind of start working out with them as it's going along. So even when you watch it on telly, you go, "Oh, they've got this left, that will leave them this." I mean, it helps that they tell you on the telly, so I'll read that and pretend I know. But I mean, you do like if you watch a lot. By the end of it, you're starting to getting used to like the sort of patterns that are there, and as you mentioned, getting used to them.
Yeah, you'll pick up the patterns, and I know like the spotters that do it for Sky and stuff. They know certain players have certain ways of going as well. So a player will always leave the preferred way of going anyway. So you just play that much that you just become used to the way you've worked out. So it becomes the norm. Yeah, because sometimes the Sky guys, when I have watched it, and it is very rare to be honest.
when I've watched it, they preempt what's going to happen. I've noticed, like, say it's the last three, and they go, he's going to go Trevor, he's going to go this, and I've never. That's they know the established players' patterns. Then I suppose.
Yeah, because what happens is you've got the cameraman, but you've got court like spotters. So I know Colin Lloyd, Keith Deller, like Eric Bristow used to do it for Sky as well. So they'll be sat in outside in like a van, watching the screen, and I'll be talking to the cameramans in their ear, saying, right, he's going to go. This is the pattern he's going to go. So if he hits this, he's going to leave this, and that's how the cameraman knows where to go. Then.
Yeah, I've always wondered that as well. Yeah, that's bloody hell. See, this is journalism at its best. This is how it works. Sky
Andy learns.
Yeah, Sky watching us. Andy learns with it. Yeah, Sky TV presents Andy learns, isn't it? Hey.
So, Luke, while we talk about that sort of subject, do you have a favourite match referee, or doesn't it matter to you?
Not particularly, no. It doesn't. Nah, to be honest, once I'm up there, I don't really even pay attention to who's refereeing. So it doesn't really matter. It's not something I've even thought about, to be honest. Not something I've even thought about.
Always been a big fan of Russ Bray. But
Russ is obviously he's a legend of the game, and obviously he's the voice of McCoy's as well, isn't he? So
that's it. And that's what I've always loved about him. I got to meet him once in the fans' village at the Ali Pali. He was just hanging around in there. So I grabbed him for a quick photo. But he has been prone to a few mistakes recently, isn't he, old Russ, with wrong calls?
Yeah, I think a lot of it. There's a few that have made mistakes, isn't there? So I think it's part and parcel of it. But he tends to get picked up on it more than anyone else, I think, Russ. Yeah,
it's got to be a tough role to stand up there. You know, got to be quick, and if you know,
I'm fairly quick at working out what I'm playing, but when other people are playing, I'm useless. But when I'm playing, I'm in control, so I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm trying to leave myself, but I wouldn't be able to do their job. It's I can imagine it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, because you're not only talking to the 5,000 people there, but also millions watching on telly. You know, and if you keep getting it wrong, you know, it's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? We've got Rich Danway has said evening gents in the chat.
Nick's asked another question. Nick's asked another question further up as well. It's a good job I'm here, Scott, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Good job
your question, man.
Yeah, another question.
So what does the rest of 2021 hold for you, Luke? What are the goals for this year?
To be honest, we were all hoping that sort of things would be back to somewhat normal by this time. But obviously, it hasn't planned out that way. So, to be honest, if I can get back to the Players' Championships and get back to Ali Pali, I'll be fairly happy with that, because it's a tough one with everything's going on. I still haven't. Usually, we all know our whole year in sort of December for January to the next December. But I know we've got an event at the end of April, but then after that, we don't know. So I don't know how long it's going to be until sort of more events are added. So yeah, if I can just get sort of qualify for the World Championships and qualify for the Players' Championships, I'll be happy. But other than that, it's just to improve on my consistency. I'm not really a goal setter to the point where I want to be number this in the world by this time next year. I want to be, because I think then you're setting yourself up for a disappointment if you don't do it. So
you're top 50, aren't you?
Yeah, top. I'm 48, I think, 48th in the world.
Out of 7 billion people, that ain't a bad. Fair,
yeah, it's not too bad.
No, let's get this perspective in here. That ain't too bad, is it? You know what I mean? 50 out of 7.
That's all right, yeah.
They're thereabouts, isn't it? Hey?
Yeah, it's decent.
I'm happy being in the top 5 million.
Yeah, you're about the 7 billion, mate. I'll tell you. That's all. You only just creep into there.
Yeah, I'll take that, mate. I'll take it. It's better than nothing. But Luke, I mean, we are rapidly coming up to the end of the show. I just want to play another video and sort of ask you how it felt at this moment after. So this is the second round of your first year at the Ali Pali. And you're playing Michael Smith, who at the time was the previous year's finalist.
Yeah.
So you've stuck up against him. So obviously, you know, you've gone up there against one of the big guns, and this is what happened.
Double, which then became one because he went inside double 10, and now Luke Woodhouse. Match point.
Well, he's already had 6 darts to win the match. Is he going to get 7? Big 20. Yes, he is. He's got to move over. 4. the match. That is the match. Luke Woodhouse, the new sensation, beats Michael Smith by 3 sets to 1. Last night we lost the number 2 seed. And
So like that, I mean, what was going through your mind when you're stepping up to take those final 3 darts?
Well, I'd already obviously missed like 6 match darts by that point because I could have won 3 sets to 0. But I'll be totally honest here. I actually looked at the wrong bit of the score line. So I thought I was 2-1 down in legs.
Okay.
And I wasn't. So I didn't actually know I was winning then. I knew it was to win the leg, but I didn't know it was to win the match. So I just threw. And when I turned round, I put my finger up to like my family and stuff down there thinking, yes, this is 2-2 now. I'm throwing to win. And he says game set in the match and it clicks. And that's when I go to the board and go mad. But yeah, I didn't actually know it was to win the match at that point.
So that's incredible. So I suppose it might help you a little bit.
I think so, yeah. After I come off after I was speaking to people, I was like, I'd looked at the wrong, basically there's a massive scoreboard above our head and I'd looked at the wrong bit and I thought I was 2-1 down in legs in that set. So I thought that was to make it 2-2. So I thought, yes, I made it 2-2. And then obviously when he said game, set and match, I sort of gone then. But I'm glad, in a way, I'm glad that happened because 1, I think the pressure was off me. But 2, I didn't go ballistic. I think I'd have gone a bit more crazy when I won, and I'm glad I sort of kept it together a little bit.
Oh, well, that celebration looked like a standard qualifying celebration. They must have a training school for that celebration. That everybody does that one, don't they?
Yeah.
Qualifying.
Obviously, when you're playing, your family and friends, sort of the VIP areas to the left-hand side, that's why everyone turns around and celebrates that way. So they're all sort of sat down there.
Cutting edge stuff, this is, Scott. Watch I want this up the areas next season, mate, this sort of stuff. This is proper journalism.
We'll get you in, mate. Yeah. But we'll get you in, don't worry. I'm learning. I'm making notes and everything.
Make notes. Watch and learn, Scott. Watch and learn. This they do it. Just on the side that quickly, Scott, do we have this recorded? Because Craig Murphy's got home late from work and Craig's a regular and he's gutted he's missed tonight's show, pretty much. Yeah,
so every show you can watch back on the You Matter Chat Show Facebook page.
There you go, Craig. So
videos are all in there.
You can watch it in retrospect with a point on your head and your big 180 and sing Scott Luke's name. There you go. Yeah.
So we did once get what's his name? A golfer, Danny Willits, was at the Ali Pally, and we got him to down a point by singing "Have you ever seen Willits down a point?" And it was actually my mate that spotted him originally and said, "In the VIP area, there's Danny Willits," and we just started off singing to him, and then it ended up with him down on a point and putting it on his head and dancing around. And next day, made the papers. So
yeah, I think that I'm not sure if it was the night before I played or the night after I played. Like, I think James Maddison was there, the footballer, and I heard he was in like the players' room, and I was gutted because I was like, oh, there's no one there when I played. But yeah, so yeah, I know. Like, I think has Prince Harry been to watch the darts before? I think at Ali Pally. So I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he watched it in Las Vegas now, didn't he? No, he's just Harry now, isn't he? Just Harry. He'll just be Harry now. Next time he comes, he'll have his dustbin cap on, just come and got the bins in. Just be Harry. Just Harry. Just Harry's over there, look.
I didn't want to bring it up, but in 2019, I did go to Vegas to watch the darts, but yeah, I didn't want to drop that in there. But that was a great experience. But even back then, so like the time when I was in Vegas, came back to like the camaraderie with the players and that, you know, because on the package I was on, we got to go like where they did the draw and meet all the players in there. And, you know, again, there was like so much sort of like jokes going with each other and just like loads of banter going on there. And, you know, it's like when they're on there, yes, everyone's there to do a job, but everyone's also has a lot of respect for each other in the back. And I mean, that's why darts is brilliant, isn't it? You know,
Marcel, I mean, I think it generally stems from obviously coming from a pub game. I mean, I think from within the last 5 years, it's been more about, you'll see so many darts academies for young kids and stuff come up. But generally, even me, I've been playing 14 years, but I come from the pub and played. So I'm 32, and even mine was based from playing in the pub. But I think as it goes on in the next 20 years, I think you'll see more and more players that have never played in the pub. It's just through academies, through different tours, challenge tours, development tours. So I think the general sort of how many people that meet dart players they're so down to earth. They're just normal, which we are, like, obviously just normal guys that have come from playing in the pub or in the social clubs or whatever. So that's why I think a lot of the time everyone sort of gets on and understands that where everyone else has come from, rather than it being. I think a lot of with darts, I think a lot of it stems from being able to sort of reach out and get in touch with dart players and speak to them and stuff. Whereas, like, how many times can you ever say you've met like a Premier League footballer? Or it's very rare occasion. So I think that's why people sort of love the darts as well.
That's it. And the darts exhibitions, well, that a lot of players do around. I mean, they're always brilliant fun. If anybody ever sees one around, go to them. They're always fantastic nights, especially Wayne Mardo. He's just an absolute character, and I mean, even in that video, he described you as the new sensation, Luke Woodhouse.
I think maybe at the time I was, but not so much now.
But I mean, that's gonna be great coming from someone like Wayne, who's a massive name in the game and a fantastic entertainer himself.
Oh, brilliant! I mean, obviously, I hadn't got a clue what he said at the time or whatever. But I've watched it back and it's brilliant. But I can remember walking backstage after to do the interviews and stuff, and he come walk straight over, shook my hand, and said that was amazing, well done. And I was like, oh my God, that's Wayne Mardell. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's good when it comes from people like that and they literally stop you. I had 2 or 3. Chris Mason done it, and I can't remember who else done it. And they stop you and say that was amazing. And you shake your hand, you think, oh my word, like these people that you've listened to for years and years, and you've seen play on the telly and whatever, they're appreciating. Obviously, I play quite well and whatever. So yeah, it's lovely.
That's great. Well, Luke, it is coming up to the end, so we'd like to thank you for joining us and taking your time out.
Pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Chatting to everyone. Thank you, everyone who's joined and put questions in for Luke as well. It is the end of the show, so thank you, everyone, for joining us. From myself and Andy, you got any last words you want to say?
I was really interested, genuinely, not a darts player, so it's really interesting to hear the other side of it. So it's, all that technical stuff and, the maths thing. I'll never get that, to be fair. But, fair play to you, mate, and taking the risk. And
yes, thank you very much.
So, all the best to you, mate, and for the future. And well, taking a risk. See, guys, it's all about taking risks. This man's a good example.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks, Luke.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye. Hello, folks. Ta-ra.
So what a great show. Thanks to Andy again for co-hosting with me and showing me how to do journalism, as he puts it.
Yeah, I'm a master, mate. This is cutting-edge stuff, I'm telling you. Cutting-edge stuff.
Do you feel like you've been back to school today, Andy?
I do feel, to be honest, I love that behind-the-scenes stuff. That everybody's on that one side. That's why they always look that way when they give it the old fist pump, or that they have to work it out themselves. It's all about patterns and not numbers. That makes the game even, as I said, I'll be honest, I'm not a darts big fan, certainly not a player. To know that that's how they work is fascinating. That's the fascinating bits for me. Just relating it, I remember years ago hearing about Premier League footballers, and I did some data thing about, I don't know, I'll make the numbers up, so you'll have to excuse me. Division 4 player thinks 1.5 seconds after he's got the ball what he's going to do with it. And a Premier League player thinks half a second before he gets the ball what he's going to do with it. And that's relatable to darts. The fact that it's worked on patterns rather than numbers, which is, I didn't know that at all. Didn't even think that. I thought they were brilliant mathematicians. And obviously over time, and the commentators get to know the patterns, that's fascinating. That's the sort of stuff I find really interesting in all areas. So that was great to hear. Yes, so cheers, Luke, if you're watching this back. Yeah,
I mean, I've always thought that one of the hardest jobs there has got to be that spotter who is at the back, and he has to tell the cameraman quickly where they're going to go next.
Absolutely.
And as Luke said, each player's got their own routines. There might be someone likes to finish on double 18, some might like to finish on double 12. Tops.
Yeah, exactly. That's the bit that, for me, that's the bit that's fascinating. That there's somebody telling you, zoom your camera in because he's going to go there. You don't. I would never have even thought that happened. I just said it was cameraman clever technology, but you've got someone saying that guy's going to throw there, that guy's going to throw there. Zoom in. That's just really great information. That makes watching darts for me now will be a different ball game. or different dart game, obviously.
Yeah, well, when it's back into full string, mate, I'll have to take you to a darts event. We'll take you to the Grand Slam at Wolverhampton.
Take me to the Grand. Take me up the Civic Hall, as they say.
Yeah, if it's back, it should be back there now. I'd have to move it the last couple of years to Alderley Village because they were doing up the.
It's done now. Yeah.
We should be back.
Well done, mate. I'm getting him on. That was really interesting.
Thank you, and thanks again for everybody who joined us and put their comments in. Andy, that's the end of another Monday. So we're going to sign off. And
are we on next week, Scott? It's bank holiday. I've got to go and eat lots of chocolate. Are we on next Monday night so we can plan ahead?
I'm here if you're up for it, Andy.
As far as I'm aware, I'm here. If it's any different, we'll let you know. But as far as I'm aware, I should be around as well, mate. Yeah.
Fantastic. So hopefully we'll see you all next Monday with plenty of Easter eggs. If not, we'll see you the week after if you're doing something on the bank holiday.
I'll just say, Scott, do yourself a promotion here, mate. On a Wednesday night and a Friday night, Scott runs a quiz night.
Tuesday and a Friday.
Sorry, Tuesday and a Friday. RWS and I went on last Tuesdays. It's great fun. You download an app. It's free. Scott, just say where they've got to go to do it. It's great fun if you want something to do in the middle of the week or on a Friday night.
So if anyone's interested, if you go onto the Worcestershire Smartphone Quizzing page on Facebook, there'll be events on there with the Zoom codes. Once you got it for one event, no, it's the same for everyone. So all you need to do is go on and follow that Zoom link. Then once you're in, you just download an app with all the instructions are on the screen, and then you just play over an app. NMS loves a quiz. Get yourself on it then.
We'll play the quiz. We'll be on it this Friday. It's great fun, guys. I'm not saying that because Scott's he's not sat next to me, but theoretically, it is a really good fun Tuesday night. We'll be on Friday. It's free. It's a great hour and a half, and it's really simple to do. Just follow the instructions, like Scott says. It tells you all in a video when the show starts, so you've got plenty of time to learn how to use it. It's not a problem. Yeah, and Nick is one of my regular quizzers who's been playing since the start of lockdown with me twice a week. So it's a fantastic effort from Nick. But also Nick has been playing the quizzes even before we came online and was doing them in the pubs. And anybody who wants to play them, just go to Worcestershire Smartphone Quizzing page and all the details are on there. RWS, I think she's accusing you there, Andy, of pressing some wrong answers. Yeah, see, that's the problem. I was thinking they were multiple choice and they weren't, and it got me all tizzy because it's very clever the way it all works. NMS, if you're particularly interested, it's really clever the way you use your phone to answer. It's really clever. You just need to read the question and the style of question before you answer. That was my problem. But yeah, I did notice for one of them, I think the answer started with a B, but it was option A. And you pressed B on the multiple choice. I did notice that once, yeah. It was great. It's great fun. Scott does a great job on that. So please join him if you've got a free Tuesday and Friday or Friday. We could have won, but you threw it away, Andy, apparently. I did, yeah. Just ask her about Good King Wenceslas. We'll talk about that another time. In fact, make a note of that for next Monday, Scott. Good King's Wenceslas. I'll make a note of that. We'll chat about that next week. Anyway, it's getting on. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next week. Yeah. Have a great rest of your week. Ta-ra.